Hello, this is Akira from Key Operation. Today we would like to show you a house in Azabu, not far from Hiro Station in the center of Tokyo. This area is known as one of Tokyo's most expensive and upscale residential districts, with many artists, business people and celebrities living here. This area is also known for its large foreign population due to the number of foreign embassies in the area. The name Azabu literally means hemp close. Until the early Edo period, which is the 17th century, the area was agricultural. During the Edo period, the area was urbanized, and after the Meiji period in 19th century, the lower land, which is Azabu Juban, and Hiro became an active commercial area. But the hilltops has been always a prime residential area. As you can see the old map, each residential plots are very generous. However, likewise the other area in Tokyo, each plots tend to be split into pieces because of the high inheritance tax. The client's great-grandparents started living in this area from the Taisho period, which is early 20th century, and used to be a large residence in this area. They had a large mansion in 4,000 square meter land with tennis courts and tea ceremony house. The land had been succeeded by each member of the family one generation to another. The plot where we were building our new house is a part of the plot succeeded by brothers and sisters of the client. Here we can see the new house. As the size of the plot becomes smaller, the distance to the adjacent building tends to become closer. Therefore, the window which connects inside and surrounding environment became one of the most important themes of this project. Here are the ground floor level openings you can see from the front street. Apart from the toilets or the bathroom, the window of the living room or the bedroom tend to be large. However, people tend to close the blind for their privacy unless you are surrounded by a forest. Even if you have large windows, if you close the blinds, you don't feel any openness. What we did for this project is to control the size of the window, the number and the layout of the windows. If you have the window layout like this, you don't really see much what's inside the house. Even each window is not that large. Once you're inside, you can feel the openness. The size of the window is 78 centimeter width and the height is 157 centimeter. The main factor of this openness control is the distance between you to the window. When you are in the room, you are close to the window, so you can feel it is quite open. When you're outside, the window looks smaller and you are far from the window when you're walking the street. Let's look around the facade. Here are the openings to the areaway, so you can see the windows to the ground floor and the basement. And this is the left side facade facing south, and currently there is a low garage building, so the light comes through very well. Even if the garage might be rebuilt, the north side facade will be set back from the second floor. Here again, we are continuing the same size windows homogeneously. Let's go to the other side. So here's the north facade. Currently this plot is owned by the client's sister and is empty. And actually we are designing a new house for this sister too. As mentioned at the south facade, the second floor level needs to set back. And towards the street, we decided to have a roof terrace, and towards the back, we have a tilted roof. And again, we have the same windows covering the facade. When we started the design, the plot had 2 stories house with 1-story garage. But as our neighbor, who is a relative of the client, building a 4-story housing while we were constructing our house. The environment was changing even during our construction. The interesting thing is that if you have more or less the same window covering the external envelope homogeneously, the internal planning is not visible from outside. The size of the window can control the privacy as you cannot see inside, but also the window arrangement can control the privacy of the planning inside. So let's have a look at the entrance. These are the bricks on the pavement, and these came from the client's grandfather's estate bricks walls. And here we have the post box and also the delivery boxes. Here's the areaway to the basement. So now, let's look inside. So now we are inside the house. We made an entrance hallway quite classical, as the client wanted to have the memory of the grandfather's house. We have a checkboard floor like this, made of real marble. Normally in the Japanese house, there's a level difference where we take off our shoes, but for this house, we made the same level floor even if you will take off the shoes. So let's have a look inside here. At this side, we have a training room. You can hang your hammock for training. As mentioned before, it looks more open compared to what you expect from outside. And behind this mirror, we have a cloak as well. So let's have a look at the other side as well. Again, this room looks quite classical with the parquet floor and the cornice with green wood. This room is a gallery to keep the souvenirs of their ancestors. Here we have the windows towards the south facade, and this is the window towards the areaway. So now let's go to the basement. At the end of the hall, we have a small residential lift. So now we're at the basement. The client's family is a door collector, and also they have a lot of archives, so they needed to have a large storage space. For this basement, on top of the waterproof concrete, we added the air gap panel, and also we have a dehumidifier, so we really don't feel any humidity here. Here we have a batteries for the solar panels, which we have it on the roof. We also have areaway, as it is useful not only for the light, but mainly to have the openings for the ventilation, and also to have an external access to the drain pit. So now let's go upstairs. At this staircase, we have the same window as on the front facade. It brings a light to the stairs. Here we have the grill for the special air conditioning system, but let me explain to you later. Here we are on the first floor. On this floor we have bedrooms and the bathroom. And in the bathroom again, we have the homogeneous windows. On the other side we have the laundry room. You can wash and dry your clothes, and you can pre-wash the clothes, and you can hang your clothes and fold your clothes as well. This is the hallway to the bedrooms. In this hallway there's a lots of shelves, and these shelves are for the dolls collection. Therefore this is like a gallery. At the end of this hallway we have a window, but you cannot notice from outside that this is a window for this hallway. So let's have a look inside the bedrooms. So this is the first bedroom. As mentioned in the beginning, with these windows you can feel very open. Maybe because you have the windows on two sides. We have a table against the window, and here we have the mirror panel for the makeup. On this side we have a walk-in closet, and we have a window inside as well. So let's have a look at the second bedroom. This is the second bedroom. We have lots of shelves here as well. Here we'd like to introduce an interesting air conditioning system. Can you feel the floor is quite warm? Obviously, not on the video, but it is very warm. We have an underfloor heating, but it is not by electrical heating elements, nor the hydronic system. So please come inside in this walk-in closet. Okay, so let's open this access hatch. Inside here we have a concealed heat pump air conditioning unit. From the unit inside the ceiling, a vertical duct is running vertically, which is here. There's a flow pass under the floor with a metal sheet, and from that sheet you can feel the radiant heat through the floor. As we are using the radiant system, not blowing the warm air in the room, there's not much temperature difference between the lower part and the upper part of the room. The temperature is homogeneous not only in the room, but for everywhere in the house, even in the toilets. Therefore, we have no chance to have heat shock, and we can enjoy the healthy space. Unlike the electrical heating floor, neither hot water underfloor with a boiler, the heat pump system has a very high energy efficiency, so this system is sustainable. In fact, with this system, we can cool down the building by blowing the cold air from the heat pump. As the air blowing is constantly within the flow pass, we will not have any condensation, even if we use for cooling. This air conditioning system is installed all the floors, and there is one internal unit per floor. The air which went through the flow pass, it will come out from these gaps at the skirting. Then the air will go back to the grill, which we saw earlier, and return to the internal unit. So now let's go to the top floor. Here we have another return grill for the top floor. The top floor internal unit is not in the ceiling, as there was no space inside the ceiling. Instead, we installed the unit above the laundry room, which is behind this grill. Here we are on the top floor. Here we have the kitchen counter, and we have the back counter as well. And behind the back counter, we have the pantry with the fridge. Here's the living dining area. When you have 3 stories, there's always a discussion which floor to put the living room. We often have the living room on the first floor. Ground floor is often eaten by the car park, so not large enough. And if you put on the second floor, the client said that it is troublesome when you have the delivery that you have to go down 2 stories. After the COVID pandemic, the delivery will be put to the delivery box even you are at home. So the client decided to put the living room on the second floor. We have the windows facing south, so this room is very bright and the client can appreciate the light. We realized that when the windows are positioned constantly, the view of the outside can be seen continuously, even the windows are not large. Probably this is also one of the reasons that you feel the space is quite opened. As mentioned before, we have the roof terrace here at the north side. This is because we have to set back because of the north side restriction line. Then we can have an extension of the living room as a garden, which we don't really have much on the ground floor. For this house, we tried to create a sustainable and comfortable space. The concrete structure is externally insulated, so we can use the concrete structure as a thermal mass, and we can store the heat. Therefore, even if you go close to the external wall, you can feel the warmness that has been stored in the concrete. For the openings, we used the PVC or the timber window sashes with double glazing. The U value of this building is 0.44. This satisfies the Grade 2 standard of Heat 20, which is one of the sustainable house standards in Japan. The C value, which represents the airtightness, is 0.1 square centimeter per floor area. So with this whole house, which has 258 square meter, we have 25 square centimeter air gap, which is very, very small. With this air tightness and the insulation performance, with the floor air conditioning, this house is very comfortable. On top of the external insulation, which is Pneumoform 50mm, we have the air gap for 40mm, and we have Duraquick panels, and on top of that, we have finished with a special mortar called Mortex. For this house, the relationship with the surrounding environment is controlled by its outer skin, which is also thermally very important. Visually, we're not isolating from the surrounding totally, neither open totally and relying on the surroundings, but rather closed and open in an autonomous way, which makes it more comfortable to live in the urban environment. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching.